G'day, this is Captain Noob, and this is the Murdering Chainsaw. This is a standalone weapon that uses the animations from the Mr. Handy Buzzblade from the Automatron DLC, and as a result, it's what it requires. So if you want to get this mod, be sure to have the Automatron DLC before you do that. Anyway, getting into the attachments here, first of all we've got the rusty chainsaw here, but you can change the prefix on chainsaw just by chucking on a different chainsaw, or chuck on the saw chain here because there's no reason not to have that extra 120 damage, which looks good. And you can also change this thing to colors and it'll actually change the prefix of this chainsaw. So blue is enthusiast, black is evil. We'll chuck on the evil one because, you know, this thing's going to be very evil indeed. Green code is garish, yeah. Orange hazardous, pink is proud, red is sinister, and yellow is utility, which is kind of cool. I actually kind of like that yellow color. And for the attachments, you get a pyrotechnic attachment, which has a chance to set enemies on fire, or a raider dressing, which is a chance to cripple and deals double limb damage. So yeah, this thing looks good. And I believe an evil chainsaw definitely would have a skull on it, so this thing is going to be one evil weapon indeed. And of course there's always going to be a legendary effect on here, just because that's just what mod weapons do. If the damage isn't too good for it, you can go ahead and chuck that on. Anyway, let's get into the plaza. Okay, so here we are in Gunner's Plaza with our chainsaw here, and it has just occurred to me that I think this is actually the first sort of weapon showcase that I've done on a melee weapon. Generally, I tend to step away from melee weapons simply because people don't find them very interesting. So yeah, the reason they don't find them too interesting is that for some reason my melee weapon videos just don't get much views compared to if I have anything like a gun. So the damage on this thing isn't doing too well, to be honest. This is only getting standard sort of damage that you'd find from a regular Mr. Handy Buzzblade, so it's going to be nothing spectacular, but I think we'll be fine. We're obviously getting a little bit more, and a nice little hit there for a takedown. We'll be getting a little bit more out of this due to our current apparel, so that's nice. We'll go ahead and VATS these turrets, see if we can pick up anyone else in the process. Thank you, Blitz. That should be easy to take them out like that. Now, the thing is, with these weapons, you're actually better off not actually critically hit, because obviously, as you can see from those VATS runs there, this thing deals multiple hits, but if I go ahead and crit, as you can see here, you'll go for a big hit, and you'll do so much less damage that anything with the lucky effect on these sorts of melee weapons is a joke. So Rippers and Mr. Handy Blades alike are not, you don't use them with lucky, there's no point. Unless you want to grind up criticals really easy to use on other weapons, that's actually a pretty good idea with it. So that gunner had a board, which is an odd weapon for a gunner to be carrying. We'll see if we can get a little bit of sneak attacks happening here. As you can tell here, this weapon is actually kind of good on its old action point usage, and we've actually managed to take him out very easily indeed, just like that. Commando goes next, we'll take out these turrets, and we'll double back down to this gunner lieutenant. Blitz is an extremely powerful melee perk, and it sort of makes up for the lack of range that you would get from a... Oops, I just managed to crit there, even though I shouldn't have. Yes. So the Blitz perk is one of the perks that melee weapons really need, just because obviously you haven't got the ability to hit anything at range. So if you can reach out a little bit further in VATS and do your attacks within the safety of the VATS sort of defense, you can go ahead and actually deal a lot of damage with the VATS melee weapons. So get a nice stagger on her, then we'll back off a bit and finish her off with a little bit of Blitz. Obviously the second rank of Blitz gives you plus 25% damage or less, depending on how far you're out from your target. As you can tell there, I think we're sufficiently far away to get a decent advantage from that, but it's a really good way of stacking that damage. Anything like the Ripper is just going to be a very good melee weapon, and while you won't kill enemies in a small manner of hits like you would with a highly powerful rocket hammer from the Nuka World DLC, you can certainly do a very good job. Another thing about these weapons is since they attack faster, it makes them just a little bit more viable with certain legendary effects such as Furious or Staggering. I don't have to explain why a Staggering Whipper would be so good. Anyone who has fought a Harbour and has picked up the Harvester will know what I'm talking about here. So while we didn't get too great damage on that legendary gun, we managed to finish her off nice and easily. Again, the VAT's action point usage is just making this whole thing a breeze, and we barely lost any health whatsoever despite being shot multiple times. Not having the death ring on you really makes the game more easily. Let's move on to Swan now, but we're definitely going to chuck on a legendary effect on this. There's no way I'm going to take him on without. Actually, no, I'll hold off on the legendary effect for now. First of all, let's take out Swan with a little bit of sneak attack trickery. So there he is over there. He's going to take out that Reaver. That'll get him nice and facing that way, unless he resets. But once he sort of stands still, we'll just come up behind him and do a little bit of VAT's magic on him. And look at all that damage just stacking up there, all in the form of sneak attack criticals, attacking him during the night where he can't possibly detect us, and with all the protection of VATs, he has no idea what was hitting him, but he's dead already. So if you play your cards right, you won't even need a legendary effect to make this thing great, provided you've got the right perks. You could make this thing kill a 40,000 hit point monster in just a few VAT strokes. Alright, now we'll actually put a legendary effect on and go fight another monster. Enter the Furious Chainsaw. There it is. So for anyone who has used the Furious Whipper or any sort of type of weapon like that, you'll understand how powerful these weapons are. So first of all, what we want to do is take out all of the minion death claws, and by doing that we'll be just increasing the damage we can possibly get on the large one later on. So whilst we're doing that, we'll take this one out too. Not getting quite the damage we need, but we get a nice stagger on him and we're able to take him out without the use of VATs, which is good. But we're losing a little bit of health, but regaining some of those action points lost with that little throw he did there. And for some reason, the bigger Deathclaw has decided not to show up for this particular fight. Oh, hold on, there he is. I think I just saw him in the corner of the screen there. But that one is down on the ground, which means he is no longer a threat to us, which means we can draw out the big one all alone. And once we gain all of our action points back, we can go ahead and stack some mad furious damage on him, which will be fun. So I hope you're patient, Deathclaw, because I'm about to come at ya. So all of our action points are back, and get a good distance on him. Not optimal here, but it'll do. And we'll slowly get more damage on him. And for some reason, attacking this dude in VATs causes him to just jump in the air like he's jumping to space. Maybe he's trying to do some like ground pound slam attack thing. But it sometimes can happen with regular Deathclaws in this game. It's actually a kind of a weird glitch. I've actually recorded it. Little known trivia about this channel is that I actually started posting videos of weird glitches or anomalies I've found, and yeah, then I decided to do stuff about weapons, so you know, that's a thing. So we took a hit there, but that's fine. We've still got a heap of hit points left, and once our AP bar goes full, it is time for this Deathclaw to die. Obviously those stacks have reset because I attacked some other mythic Deathclaw in the process of regaining our action points back, so we're suffering a little bit in damage, but we'll hopefully try to move out here. And in some ways this guy is actually harder to fight than the Deathclaw down in the glowing sea, simply because he's got a lot of mates that like to crowd around him, and this one, being as perceptive as he is and on the same faction creation kitly speaking as the other Deathclaws, once one of them detects you, you're all detected by it. So he'll bring in the Deathclaws from all around. His Deathclaw milkshake brings all the Deathclaw boys to the yard or something. And yeah, and he can be a real pain in the ass to kill once if you don't prioritize killing all of his minions first. And if you let him get a heap of hits on you, he can absolutely knacker your health bar. I mean, this is a level 126 character, and it's, you know, while it takes a lot of hits to kill her normally, this Deathclaw is quite the adversary, so if we can just get a good VATS run on him to finish off, I think we should be fine. Nope, it's reset once again, but since he's decided to jump up, we'll go ahead and back off a little bit more, and before we can hit him, or before he can hit us, we'll go ahead and VATS him again, and go ahead and jump, will ya? Nope. We'll immediately go into Nerd Rage, and narrowly get missed by the claws there, so that was a little bit scary. And for some reason, VATS, or the Furious Effect, is just not working very well here, and that is rather irritating because this dude should be dead if all of the VATS stacked properly. Although we'll attack him again once Nerd Rage is over, we'll still have that Destroyer of Arcadia perk for a little bit longer, and we'll take him out nice and easily, just like that. So playing smart, or just carrying in some rocks, is a good way to take down Deathclaws. Just breaking their pathing in general is a nice way to handle them if you don't have the weapons to do it from range, but there you have it. One more legendary effect and one more monster. Okay, so here we are outside of Vault 111, and here is the Staggering Chainsaw. So this little rad roach here has been quite the pest for me over the past couple of videos when I've actually sort of followed him, so I'm going to take a heap of drugs and get stuck into him here. So now that he's going to be permanently staggered, we'll just sort of try to get him in a corner, and we'll completely knacking his health bar. Now this might take a while, so bear with me here. We finally got him. So, if that doesn't demonstrate the power of a fast-hitting weapon with the staggering effect, I'm not sure what will. And with that, I think it's a good time to call it a video here. So, thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to check out this mod for yourself, be sure to check out the links in the description. They should be down there. If you're on PS4 though, this mod will definitely not be available for you, but you guys can pick up a Mr. Handy Buzzblade and get similar results to this, so it should be fine. Thank you for watching, guys.